Hello, here we are again. It's time to work out. Let's start out standing today. We're going to do some toe stuff, and I'm going to talk to you while we're doing it. Set your feet parallel, hip width apart, and begin to lift your toes, but not the pad of your foot where the knuckles are, and then put them back down. Bonus points, keep doing that, up and down. Bonus points if you can spread out your toes before you drop them down. If this isn't something you're used to doing, it will help a lot if you look at your feet. But then once you get it going, don't look at your feet anymore because that's bad for your neck. Do that one more time and put it back down. Now, try to pick up all of your toes again and just put down your big toes and lift them. And just repeat that a few times. Now, if you can't pull this one off, rather than staring at something that's not happening, it might be better for you to spend the time trying to pull all your toes up and just keep your big toes down to get a sense of separating them before you can expect to build it up to tapping. If you're tapping along with me, do like 3 more. And now we're going to try that again, all toes up, on the pinky toe side of your foot. Because the toe is smaller, this is harder to control. And so if you look at it, you're going to see a little response from your ring toe and your middle toe to get that pinky moving. But you should see very defined that your big toe stays sturdy and up. Let's do that for 3 and 2 and 1. All right. Feet flat again, just get back to a comfortable grounded stance. And take a second now to push your weight down into your heels like your heels were going to push little holes into the floor. And see if you get a response reacting to that of your posture getting a little taller. All right, now moving your arms a little bit, getting into a breath focus. As you exhale, you're going to round forward and make a hugging motion in front of you. Let your knees bend a little bit. Open your arms wide like wings, look up at the ceiling. And exhale, round your spine. Inhale up. So we're looking up to receive. We're going to grab it, hug it into our body and curl down. Inhale, get big again, and curl it in. Inhale up tall. Let's do that one more time, collapsing into that hug and pushing into your heels to lift your chest and chin. All right, let's head down to the floor. Get into kneeling on your hands and knees, and let's start out with a couple of cat stretches. Press away from the floor with your arms and your legs. And then when you exhale, begin to tuck your tailbone under, round your spine into a C shape, allowing your shoulder blades to spread apart as you're curling your back. Stay there for a breath in. And then when you exhale, start to stick out your tailbone. Feel how your sit bones get wider when you begin to move the pelvis. Flatten your back, and we're going to go past neutral into a slight extension by lifting the chest and chin. Stay there and take a breath in. When you exhale, tuck your tail under again. Start to flex the spine. Push down into the knees to help you curl the pelvis. Push away with your arms to help you spread those shoulder blades. Now, as you hold for your inhale, focus the breath into your back. When you exhale, stick out your tailbone. Lengthen the spine, visiting neutral briefly, and then lifting your chest and chin. Let's do this 2 more times, but reverse the pattern. Start with your head dropping and your shoulder blades splitting apart, your low back rounding and your tail tucking under. As you hold for your inhale, keep making more energy, drawing your head and tail together. When you exhale, lift your head, open your chest, start to flatten the back, stick out your tailbone and lift into that extension. Take a nice big breath in, let it open the chest even more. And then exhale, drop your head, press away from the floor, rounding the spine, curling the low back and tucking the tail under. Make 1 more inhale breath to hold that pose. When you exhale, you're going to lift your head, draw your shoulder blades back and down, and then stick out your tailbone last. All right, now we're going to play around with a weight shift back and forth. So often we're just doing this with a flat back. Go ahead and do that with me. And just kind of get the flow of shifting your weight from your arms to your legs. I'm going to put a small spin on this today. I'm going to have you, as you're shifting back, you're going to turn one leg out like a clamshell, and you're going to sit down towards the opposite leg. So I've definitely gone off center. And then I'm going to come back to the middle to put the knee down. And I'm going to switch every time, so you'll see my sit back a little better when I turn out the other leg. So one knee turns out, and then the other, and out, and then the other. And now the action of this, pushing and pulling, make this an arm activity. Push away with the heels of your hand as you shift your weight back towards your foot. Let's do 4 more of those. And 3, 2, and 1. Curl your toes underneath you. Next, we're going to go into a knee hover. So you want your fingertips spread really wide so your hands take up a lot of space to diffuse the force. All right, knees still under your hips. Take a breath in to prepare. When you exhale, you're going to press into your hands and toes and pick your knees up into a low hover. Stay in that for a breath in, and then gently place those knees down as you exhale. Inhale, breath at the bottom. Exhale, press into the hands and toes, lift those knees up. Hold here and breathe in, and then exhale to return. 1 more this way. Breathe in at the bottom. Exhale, connect with your abs, press into the ground and lift your knees up. Hold that back nice and neutral as you breathe in, and then exhale to lower and back down. Now we're going to add a rotation to this. So I want you to first pick up into that same hover. Now you're going to take 1 foot, you're going to reach it under the other. We're going to turn to follow it and kick the leg out. Come back down to the kneeling, drop your knees. I'm going to let you have the reset the first couple times you try this. So knees come up on your exhale. Inhale. Let's pivot to the other side, kicking through. Come back to the hover, drop your knees down. And again, exhale, knees go up. Inhale, rotate. I'm just posing this hand up so it gets out of the way. Exhale, back to hover. Inhale, drop. Exhale, lift. Rotate, kick through. Back to the hover and lower. I'm going to try 4 more without putting my knees down. If you need to, keep doing it that way. Exhale, knees up. Let's see if I can do this. Rotate, kick. I'm going to come back to the center on the exhale. Twist to the other side. Back to the center. Rotate and kick. Back to the middle. Sorry, I'm laughing at how I look. Kick. And back to center. Drop your knees. Let's all take a shell stretch all the way back towards your heels. All right, as you exhale, roll yourself up to sitting. Let's go down onto your back. All right. We're going to start here with a set of toe taps. You can keep your arms relaxed by your sides. Give yourself a second just to kind of settle into the ground. And we're going to work these toe taps in an imprinted spine. So I'll have you take an exhale breath, and you're going to do a slight pelvic tilt so your low back gets a little longer towards the mat. You should feel a little more contraction through your oblique abdominals. And now your goal is to keep this position working here isometrically while we tap your feet. So let's lift 1 leg into the air when you inhale, and then bring your second leg up when you exhale. All right, stay here for a breath in. When you exhale, lower 1 leg, and you're going to tap your toes on the ground. As you inhale, lift your leg back up. Exhale, tap your other foot down, and inhale to lift. Now we're going to keep alternating, knitting your ribs together as you tap down. Inhale up, and exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Let's do it like this 4 more times. Inhale up, and 3 to tap, and lift. Exhale, lower, and up, and just 1 more time like that, and then lift. All right, now, once you keep your legs in the air, keep your imprint, you're going to turn your knees out and your toes out, so you kind of look like froggy leg position with your feet flexed. Now, I think you'll find this one more challenging, but I could be wrong. We're going to still work to keep the imprint. You're going to do a bend and stretch with your legs. As you exhale, extend both of your legs and point your toes. As you inhale, flex your feet and bend your knees. So the reason I say maybe is the amount of work you create in this exercise is still highly variable. If you were to reach your legs straight up to the ceiling, they'll feel a lot lighter than if you reach them out on a very low diagonal. Ugh. So I want you to pick the height that's best to challenge you, where you're successful keeping your imprint. Your priority is still what you feel in your torso. And can you stabilize to fight the weight of the legs getting heavier? 1 more time like that. Exhale, reach away. Inhale back in. Leave your knees turned out. Point your toes so your feet look a little bit more like a diamond. Do-do-do-do. I want you to try one more set of toe taps in a turnout. This will be our last little bit of holding imprint for now. When you exhale, lower one leg. Your foot may not hit the ground this time. It's just a different angle. Inhale back up. Exhale, tap your other foot. Inhale up. Now, once again, we all may disagree on which is the hardest and which is the easiest based on how your hip joints are positioned on your pelvis, based on where you have tightnesses, like if your hip flexors are real grippy, and even based on your proportions. If you have very long legs and a short torso, that last one we did was probably the worst. And exhale, tap down. We're going to do one more on each side. Start the breath before the movement so you know you're still focused on those abdominal muscles. One more time, tapping down and lifting up. Let's take your legs back to parallel and just put them back down on the ground. All right, turning onto your side for spinal rotation. One hand under your head, both of your legs in tabletop, and top arm reaching forward at chest height. When you breathe in, lift your top arm so it's above your shoulder. When you exhale, rotate your upper body, opening your chest up into a stretch and letting your arm reach back. Stay here and take a big breath in. When you exhale, lift your arm up and close it back over. And again, inhale as your top arm reaches up. Exhale as you rotate back. Hold here, take a big breath in, let it expand the chest, and then exhale to lift and close. Just one more time. Inhale, top arm lifts. Exhale, rotate back. Stay here and take a breath in, and then exhale as you lift your arm and close back over. All right, let's flip you over to your other side. As you're setting yourself up, try to create that 90-degree bend at your hip joint and make your back as straight as possible. Shoot that top arm out at chest height, and away we go again. Inhale, top arm lifts up, and then exhale as you rotate towards the back. As you hold for your inhale, keep pressing your knees down to resist the rotation of your upper body, and then exhale to lift your arm and close back over. Inhale, top arm reaches up, and then exhale as you spiral towards the back. Hold here, take a breath in to stay, and then exhale as you lift and close. One more time. Inhale, top arm lifts up. Exhale as you rotate towards the back. Last inhale breath to stay here, and then exhale as you lift and close back down. Flip back over onto your back. All right, so we're going to play around with some abdominal work, doing some flexion. Let's start with an ab prep. So now we want to be back in a neutral spine. So your pelvis, your rib cage, and your head are the three bony landmarks that you should feel in the mat. And there should be a tiny curve where your low back arches forward and your neck arches forward. So we're creating the alignment of your posture you'd want when you're standing. Your goal here is to keep your pelvis still and just flex your upper body. Let's start this one with your arms reaching up to the ceiling first. And then I want you to take them overhead about half the distance towards the floor. As you inhale, you're going to tip your chin down slightly while you're lifting your arms over your chest. When you exhale, curl up your head and shoulders and lower your arms down next to the sides of your hips. As you inhale, you're going to lift your arms back up so they're in line with your ears, and that makes a little more load to hold. When you exhale, you're going to lower down, bringing your arms with you. So on the way up, we'll take the arms up first, tip your chin down slightly. Exhale, curl up, look at your legs. Inhale breath, arms by your ears for the challenge. Exhale to lower back down. Inhale, arms up over your chest. As you exhale, use your breath to slide the ribs down towards your hips to help you flex. Now as you inhale, breathe into the sides of the rib cage and your back so we can resist losing the flexion. Exhale to come back down. One more time this way. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, nod your chin, flex forward, make sure you're looking at your legs. Inhale, arms reach back up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower down. All right, I'm only going to make one change. We're going to work with both of your legs out straight. When you get there, if you find that tightens up your back, ignore me and go back to the other version. Just keep doing the same thing. All right, otherwise, inhale, arms up over your chest. Exhale, nod your chin, curl up to your ab prep, and I want you to go just a little farther. So you're going to imprint to do that. Now hold that lift. As you inhale, bring your arms up by your ears. Exhale, lay all the way down. We're going to do 3 more like that. Inhale, arms over your chest. Exhale, nod your chin. You want to curl forward as if you're trying to reach the feet. Then inhale, we're going to lift those arms up to reach the ceiling. And exhale, lower back down. Inhale, arms lift over your chest. Curl forward. So that idea of reaching the ceiling is not crazy. As you're taking your arms up, pretend your whole body was trying to lift with it, and exhale as you return. One more like this. Inhale, arms over your chest. Exhale, nod your chin. Now, do that imprint. See if you can go just a little higher than last time. Inhale, arms up by your ears. Exhale, lower down. You know where I'm going with this, right? Okay, we're going to try to turn this into a full sit-up. If you cannot, keep doing this last version. Inhale, arms up over your chest. Exhale, nod your chin. Now we're going to take that imprint, and I want you to keep increasing your flexion as you round forward. We're now in a full C shape, and you're going to reach towards your legs. If you need to bend your knees a little bit at the top, that is fine. Start to roll back your pelvis. Keep your feet flexed. Keep tucking under, and then unravel as you exhale. Reach your arms back by your ears. Inhale, arms up over your chest. Exhale, nod your chin, curl forward, scoop the belly button back. Everything else is going to reach towards the legs, hands just higher than your feet. Now start to roll back, tuck the pubic bone up, keep unraveling, reach your arms overhead. Inhale, arms up over your chest. Exhale, nod your chin, pull your belly button in, curl forward, reach towards your legs. Roll back your pelvis, tucking the tailbone under. Unravel and reach the arms back. Let's do that 2 more times. Arms up over your chest. Nod your chin. Curl forward. Reach towards your legs. Roll back the pelvis. Tuck up the pubic bone. Unravel. Reach those arms back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, nod the chin. Curl forward. Reach towards your legs. And then start to roll back. Unravel. Reach your arms overhead again, and I'm just going to have you circle them around to your hips. Okay. We're going to go into the one leg circle. I'm going to give you 2 options. The leg that you're not using. It is more challenging to work with your leg out straight like this. You're going to make a little more stability for yourself if you bend your knee and put your foot flat, because you can kind of root down and use your inner thigh more. So first, just make that decision. I'm going to actually do that with my other leg. And then the leg that you're working, I want you to take into the air into tabletop position. On this exercise, did I say it was one leg circle? It's one leg circle. If or when we do this, you want to be back in a neutral pelvis, and that was the position where you had a little curve in your low back, but you can still feel the connection of your abs when you do your breath. Now you're going to stay in that position, and with an exhale breath, work towards straightening your knee, but only straighten it as much as you can while staying neutral at your pelvis. So if you're tight in the back of your legs, you may not be able to fully extend, or else if your low back is flat, you might need to leave a little bend in that. Okay, now imagine a continuation of your thigh right up to the ceiling, and we're going to draw circles with the leg. You're going to inhale as you come across the midline and down away from your head, and then exhale as you circle it out to the side and back up to the ceiling. I want you to inhale for the first third of the circle, exhale for 2/3 around and back up. Inhale across and down. Exhale, circle and lift. 2 more times. Inhale and around and up. Last one in this direction, across and down, circle and lift to the top. Now let's go the other way. When you breathe in, try to send the breath into your back to keep the ribs anchored. Exhale, pull through the center and up. If you're feeling a lot of clicking in the front of your hip, you may want to put a little more bend in your knee. But another strategy I like to try is I tap to squeeze my butt. You're in a position that it's kind of hard to feel your butt squeeze because it's not, your glutes squeeze more when you're in an extension with your hip. You're done with the side. We will continue this conversation. Put that leg down, and whether you're going to leave it straight or bent, just rock it in and out a few times before we go again. Okay, set that one into its position. Let's get the other leg in tabletop and just take a second to get evened out left to right and make sure you're neutral. And then with an exhale, start to extend that leg. All right, so what I was saying, it's hard to contract your glute when your leg is flexed like this, but just see if you could do a little butt squeeze. And then as you're dropping the leg across the midline and down, it gives you a little support as the leg gets heavier. And then exhale around and up. And sometimes that's what your body needs to overcome the click. That's not the only reason it happens. But your nervous system may not be able to trust letting go of the muscles in the front of the hip without knowing there's support from underneath you to assist the movement. 2 more times. Inhale across and down. Exhale, circle and lift up. 1 more time, and circle and lift. Let's do that in reverse. Now inhale as you drop your leg out to the side and down away from your head. Exhale through the center and up. Inhale, beginning your circle. Exhale, around and lift. 3 more times. If you're working with a bent knee, keep rooting your foot into the ground. You've got 2 to go. Exhale, around and lift. Last time. Inhale and circle and lift to the top. Bend that knee, slide it out straight, and just rock it in and out a little bit. All right, I'm going to have you turn over into your stomach. Okay, so here let's play around with a little breaststroke prep and then put it together into a full breaststroke. Legs are going to be parallel, together, or slightly separated. Arms start out in a W shape. And I want you to begin already in a slight hover. So you're still looking down at the mat, but your upper body is propped off the mat and you feel just a little pressure in your forearms. Now as you breathe in, I want you to continue pushing into your forearms while you lift your head and chest, slide your shoulder blades back and down, and keep rising till you have 1 or 2 ribs left on the mat. And then exhale, compress your abs, lower back down until you're in your hover. As you inhale, elongate the neck, slide your shoulder blades down, open your collarbones. Exhale, pull your abs in, hug your ribs together, and release back down. Inhale as you lift up. Your gaze should be off the mat towards the floor. And then exhale as you lower. Okay, now we just play around with adding a little extra load. So you're going to push up again as you inhale. This time as you go to your hover, reach your arms overhead so you can feel what it is like to hold the weight of your arms. Inhale, bend your elbows, push yourself back up. Exhale, back down into your hover, arms overhead like you're flying. Inhale to lift. Just 1 more of those. Exhale down. Inhale up. All right, you've got all the pieces. Here's your full breaststroke. As you exhale, lower into your hover and take your arms overhead. And then inhale, circle your arms to your hips as you rise back up to extension. Bend your elbows, dive back down to hover, reach your arms through. Inhale, circle your arms, lift your head and chest. Exhale, pull the abs in, dive to that low, long line. Inhale, back up. And exhale, dive down. Inhale, circle and lift. Give me 2 more. Exhale, dive it low. Inhale, circle it up. 1 more time. Exhale, dive down. And inhale, circle and lift. All right, bring yourself back down. Now I'm going to have you, we're going to play around with something I hope you'll find fun. You're going to prop yourself up on your forearms. Don't worry too much about your form because you're not going to stay here. But if you feel strain in your back, you're going to bring your arms out a little bit farther so there's less extension from your back. Okay, first piece of this exercise is the scorpion. So the scorpion, you're going to bend your knee and twist. We're just going to play with that. So I've turned, so I'm on one forearm and my foot's hit the floor. Maybe you will see that better when I go to the other side. I'm just going to twist and then back down. Earlier in the workout, we did a rotation from quadruped where we were swinging our knee through the other way. So this is kind of balancing out, but a similar type of rotation. Okay, so far so good. Ready? That's where we get wild. You're going to flip that leg again, but this time keep flipping it and you're going to let it drop you into a sitting position. You're going to do a side bend. Drop that forearm. We're going to turn back through the center. So I straighten my legs briefly. I'm going to flip that other leg around, come up to mermaid, side bend, and then back down. So I'm coming through that forearm plank, rotating, letting both knees bend, and just following it through to side bend. Back down through the middle, briefly in that plank, rotate, and bring it up. And back down. We're going to do 1 more to each side. Flip it, let it bring you around, and just follow it over to the side bend. Last time, coming through the center, flipping, lifting, stretching, and come back up. Okay, let's stay seated. for a half roll back, knees bent, leave space between your feet, which can be either flat or toes up. Now I'm going to have you round forward, reaching your arms forward level to the floor. On your exhale breath, I want you to roll back your pelvis, and you're going to round your lower spine down towards the mat. Inhale, you're going to curl forward till you're back on your sit bones. Your goal here is to stay in the C shape and just bring your body back and forth from rocking the pelvis. So I'm curling off my sit bones towards my sacrum on the way down and maintaining that scooped up abdominal wall as I round forward. And the scooped up, that's not a real term, but I'm compressing, pulling it away from my thighs like they were hot and I don't want to touch them. Roll back. Dive up and over. Now we're going to keep doing this rock, but this time I'm going to take one arm up and I'm going to sweep it around to make a circle and a rotation. Then my other arm goes up and I'm going to circle around. So just like before, when the arm was in line with the ear, it adds more weight for the abs to hold. But the unique challenge on this one is that we're not symmetrical. So you have to balance out moving the pelvis evenly, even though your body is not loaded the same on the left and right side. It also lets us separate spinal function a little if that interests you. My lower spine is meant to be round, like I'm creating, but that rib cage part of my spine is more designed to rotate. So that arm circle lets me get that expression. I cannot talk and exercise. One more time. I mean, not about anything intelligent. Circle and dive. Obviously, I can talk while I'm exercising. All right, let me do a time check. Back up. It's the home stretch. I knew we were going to get here way too fast today. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to play around with some lunging thingies. The first thingy is going to be a side lunge. And patterning, I just want to get your arms involved more, so we're doing a little work for your shoulders. So let's just get a couple basic side lunges to make sure your legs are okay with this. You're going to step off to the side. So one knee's bent, one leg straight. Let's do a crossed arm here. Now you're going to try to balance on one foot with your arms by your side. So I'm going to go down, cross, up, long arms. If you can't balance on one foot, you're going to do this again instead. Both feet on the floor, but one heel's up, so you're barely touching the ground. Okay, now let's make a little more arm action. This time we're going down wide arms, arms to overhead when we're balancing on one leg. All right, I feel our shoulders. Nice and flexible. And up. Let's do 3. And lift. 2. One more time. Okay, land just a wide stance again. From the top on the other side. Give me the cross arm version. Arms hanging low first. Just see what this other ankle has in store for you. Okay, if you cannot do this, what was our backup plan? We're going to do a couple like this if you need to. Okay, add in our other arms. Wide arms on the way down, arms up to the ceiling when we balance. Take it out wide. Now that I'm doing the wide arms, notice how I'm letting my chest drop more, just because there's space for it. Oy vey. Let's do 3. And up. 2. Linger here. Get some inner thigh work. One more time. And lift. Nailed it. All right. Side view for you. Forward, backward stepping lunge. But I want you to play with tempo to the best of your ability and knowing you might not stay on pace with me. Here's what we're going to try to achieve. Start with one leg in the air like you've just taken a big march. And I want you to lift your other arm up. So once again, we're focusing on balancing on our ankle. You're going to take that air leg, step it backwards into a lunge, and just pause there. All right, so I want you to do a quick push back up and pause when we're on one leg. This time, step forward. Quick push up, linger, go back. So what we're practicing, powerful explosion, but then a really controlled soft landing. Powerful lift, catch that balance, wee, and then slow on the way down. Big up and drop. Balance, drop. Okay, so you said to me we could all start to go at our own pace at this point, because you also have to control the depth of your lunge. Be careful with those knees. I want you to challenge yourself to go low, but be safe. Drop and up. Step forward. Power that lift. One more back and one more forward on this side. Okay. I'm going to turn around. I know that's not necessary, but it just feels right to do. Also going to cough. Okay. Pose that balance first. Squeeze those fists real strong, driving that energy up. We're going to take it backwards first. Drop into a lunge. Pause in that mid phase. Drop to your front lunge. Power it up, pause. Step back. Nice and strong to the top. Step forward, drop. And back up. Step it back. Lift. Step it forward. And up. To the back to drop. Lift. Step forward and drop. Up. You've got 2 more rounds of this. Stepping back and lifting forward and up. 1 more each way. And lift, drop it down. Balance up. Okay. Pop down into a squat. Feet about hip width, shoulder width apart. Hands resting on your legs. Let's cat again. From a kneeling, maybe too out of breath. Let's cat again from a kneeling position. When you exhale, tuck your tail under, round your spine, hang your head, and then swing your tailbone out and extend your spine. Let this be fluid. Curl your back and extend your back. Round it forward, flatten it out. 2 more. Curling, flattening, last one, and flatten. All right, dropping one shoulder, then the other. I put a little bounce in my legs when I do this, just because it makes it easier to twist. I don't know if it does anything for my body. It just makes it feels more fluid for me. Let your head turn now. Look over your shoulder. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, back to squared off, back to the squat. Now I want you to let your hips swing side to side. This is going to involve a little power from the legs, that same bob through the center. Now look over your shoulder and try to see the hip that's swinging to the side. 1 more to each side. Come back to the center, push yourself up. You are all done for today. Hope you have a great day.